And we are live. Welcome back, people, to the Podcaster Nation. And I say welcome back because I know you've been listening to all the episodes before this one. I know you have. I've gotten too many messages from you guys too soon, too fast, too hard, too much info. We're loving every minute of this. Folks, I love you folks. This is our podcast, this is our community. All right. You guys are creators, whether you're doing it on video, whether you're doing it on social, whether you're doing it on audio. We are creators. We give of ourselves to the public. And, I have a guy on today that does exactly that. He gives stuff out free, to folks who want to find out who he is. He is absolutely full of energy. He's full of spirit. I mean, I talked to this guy for 3 seconds and I was like, I want you on the podcast. So you're going to really love this guy today. Before I get there, I have got to say thank you for all of the folks who have joined our private group online, the Podcaster Nation. And it's important to get the, and it's important to say it's podcaster. All right. Because it's about the people behind the mic, not our product. It's about you. Nothing we do is ever about us. It's always about our guests, our clients, our people we're trying to serve. This, folks, is about you. This is your opportunity to come on here and talk about who you are, share your mission. And I want to see every single one of you come on this show. Every one of you. Okay. If I could interview every podcaster in the whole world, I would do it. Not sure how I'd get anything else done, but that's the mission and that's the goal. On this podcast, we really do believe that the rising tide raises all ships. We work together, we come together, interview each other whenever possible to try and raise everybody up, and we share. So that is the point. Welcome to the podcast today. And let me welcome my very special guest. If you're on the audio version, this guy has a fantastic backdrop that his wife made. He's got lights hanging in the back. It's all dark and stuff. He's looking like mysterious, but sort of, like joyful at the same time. I'm loving the vibe. And welcome to the Podcaster Nation, Rogelio Diaz, host of Walking the Path podcast on YouTube. Rogelio, thank you, brother. How you doing today?
Thank you, Rory. Thank you for that amazing introduction. And I am doing fantastic. Excited to be here and yeah, give some value.
Right on. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love that that's the first thing coming out of your mouth is you want to give some value, man. I mean, anybody who spends 5 minutes looking at your stuff knows that's what you're all about.
Oh, thank you, brother.
This is beautiful. All right. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet this young man yet, all right. And I mean, I think, what are you, like 18? I mean, you look like a kid.
Bring me back to those times, Rory. 31.
No way. There's
Yeah.
no way in the world you're 31. All right. If you're on, seriously, the guy looks like he's, 12, but he's a very, very young dude. Got all kinds of energy. Rogelio, I've watched a lot of your stuff on Facebook. I've checked things out. I checked out your website and your coaching programs. You have a lot going on. But the thing that struck me the most was being able to feel what was coming from inside of you. Like the moment I tuned into your channel, you know what I mean? You just have this energy. You've got this joy about sharing. Anybody who hasn't run into you yet, if I asked you the question, who is Rogelio Diaz? Where'd you come from? What are you doing now? What's your purpose, and what you're doing today? How would you answer that question to all of our listeners?
I, I would have to say, Rory, who Rogelio Diaz is now is a completely other version than who he was 9 years ago. Because you hear these stories of like, I never thought I would have wrote a book, or I never thought I would have, done X, Y, and Z. And I can see why people say that, right? Because 9 years ago, at 22, I was an alcoholic. I got a DUI that cost me 10K that I did not have, that I had to borrow from my parents. And I had to use,
Ouch.
I was working at UPS at the time, and I had to use all the money that I earned from peak season, working 12, 15-hour days to pay just to get my car back. And it was like life hit, right? But I lost all my friends. Again, that's a part of my story as well. Like I lost all my friends. I got cheated on. I was drinking every other day, no purpose, no meaning. I mean, again, a whole other version of who's here right now. And living at my parents as well, I felt like a loser. I felt like a failure. And there's nothing wrong with living with your parents. I mean, I don't know. I'm 20. I was 20. 22. Lived with them until I was 27, and that was already like in the Mexican culture. It's normal, but it's too much. But at that age, 22, I was really going through it. And what always is mind blowing to me is even when you're under the influence, right? Like change still happens. Meaning, I remember one night going to sleep drunk, after partying, and I'm laying in my bed, incredibly just gone, and I have this thought: Is this going to be the rest of my life? I never ever have thoughts like that, Rory. Like at that age, I was just like, it's whatever, and I I said no for whatever reason, even under the influence, I said, no, this is not, it's not. So in that moment, I made a choice to learn one new thing, just one new thing every day to better myself, to better my life. I stayed true to that. The next day, I went to the gym. I came back. I was on YouTube. I'm like, what can help me? And I came across this video of why I have no friends by this one guy that would actually ended up being my mentor. Um, and they just hit. It was my first touch, my first dip into personal development. Little did I know, and that created such momentum for me because I'm like, wait, I can have meaning in my life. I can become more than this, right? And it gave me hope. Gave me hope, and that it's happened multiple times where hearing somebody else's story or just their message saved my story and helped me find my message, what I'm looking for at that time, right? So it accelerated me going into getting courses and coaching programs, and I really got this like, at that point, people when you're early on, you're like, is this a scam? Or I don't know, like, but I risked it, and I learned a lot. And then I ended up 4 years ago, I ended up going to a spiritual retreat in Sedona, Arizona. And I drove there with my car, just the luggage that I had for the retreat, my laptop that I'm still using now, and just this dream of like, and I lost all my clients as well at that time. Like there was no logic to make this move. But after the retreat, I'm like, I can't go back. I'm from Chicago. I'm like, I can't go back to Chicago. I want to start new. I ended a 5 year relationship. Like, that was brutal, right before the retreat as well. And it was a whole new start that I know I needed. And I knew what am I going to go back to? Right. That 5 year relationship that I was unhappy with, drinking it, still like battling with alcohol, hanging out with friends still, like what? So I burned the boats. And that was another chapter that really gave me momentum. And I realized that after investing in a program shortly after that, called what's it called, FTP, full time purpose, and that's where I met my next mentor. And it taught me that what, I want to help people. I want to share this. I want to do what somebody did for me in so many ways, right? And I took I took a chance, man. I was willing to sleep in my car. It's a donut. I was willing to fast to save money on on food. I figured it out. I figured it out, and here we are 4 years later. After that decision, and I went from moving to Sedona to moving to Scottsdale to moving to Surprise, Arizona to Flagstaff, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. I was just jumping around, making it up month by month. Just I got this crummy hotel or motel, just making it up, making it up. But again, you really want something. Let's see who when your back's against the wall. Let's see how bad do you really want it, so to speak. So yeah, I went through a lot, man. I went through a lot, and here we are now. I'm high performance coach, spiritual development speaker. Uh, Being able to speak on stage. I've done Toastmasters. I've really been able to enhance this gift, and I didn't always trust it either, man. I didn't always trust it. It took a couple friends to say, Roy, speak, get on the freaking mic, right? So, but that's who, in a nutshell, man. Rogelio Diaz. He was a kid. He used to be this kid. Believed he was a failure. He believed he was a loser, an alcoholic, and he went from all that to help working with small business owners, six-figure entrepreneurs, to helping people really change their lives. And that's why I chose coaching as well, Rory. Because I saw it creates real freaking change. That's what I wanted to do. Not no little, it's a little micro thing. Like I wanted 3 month full transformation because I saw what it did for me, right? Doing these kinds of programs and working with people that could really help you. And I wanted that. So that's why I chose to go down this route, and I saw what it can really do for people that are committed.
Wow. Brother, I almost knew that there was a story like that in you. I just felt it, and you unpacked so much just now. I mean, first, and don't take this, the wrong way, but I'm so proud of you. I want to make sure you hear that
Thank you,
because
Roy.
just, man to man, that's amazing to make changes like that. You sought out coaching, which helped you, but you made the changes. You suffered through to get where you had to be. And no one can ever take that away from you, which is beautiful. Now, you said a couple things that I want to make sure I point out. You burned the boats. I love that. That's a very popular expression with those of us who have had to overcome adversity, especially. But to you, burning the boats meant what exactly? And what gave you the strength, man, to literally burn your boats and cut everything off and head into the abyss?
Really glad you asked that, Rory. Well, to me, burning the boats was not going back to Chicago because I could. I could have drove back and could have had a nice, soft, comfortable life still. And I was burning the relying too much on my parents. Right, I was there. Um, it it almost like it was disabling in so many ways. Like as I look back, right, because they helped me, they supported me, but it didn't allow me to help and support myself because I knew I could lean on, right? So I knew I'm like I knew I had to be a man and find my way, right? Find my way, not again just being there so comfortable at home. And I didn't want to go back to the 5 year relationship, right? I had to let go of that. I didn't want to go back to partying still every weekend. I battled for alcohol with alcohol for some time. It was like an on and off thing, and it yeah, that's the only way I knew how to escape, right? With unhealed trauma, unprocessed emotions, like that's what I would go to. And I I knew that if I went back, I knew what I was going back to. And I didn't want that. So I didn't want to go back to feeling like that kid, feeling like that failure. I wanted to see what I can do. That was really made out of, right? And not too long before the retreat, I also listened to this my mentors at the video that video first video that I came across by I Have No Friends, that that mentor, his audio book. And at the end he shared how he had $1,000 and backpack, and he chose to leave Miami and leave and just to go to Thailand and just travel. And that inspired me so much. Like, he can do it, why can't I? Well, right? Like, why can't I make this leap? I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I needed to see. I needed to see what I can do. I needed to take a chance, and that was a real inspiration to me. Just knowing that, wow, he did it. I can do it too, and I knew I wanted more, and I wanted to. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, so to speak. I wanted to move out for so long, and I've been close, and I couldn't, and just financial reasons. But it was time, man. It's like I didn't care about the cost at all.
Boom. Wow. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm not usually speechless. So that was like, just shake my head, that is so tough to do. Burning the boats all by itself is so tough to do. But to then turn around and basically make the purpose of your life to be the thing that you didn't have,
Yeah.
for someone else is incredibly difficult to accomplish. Um, and yet you have. You're, I think we have a pretty good idea where you've been. Um, where are you going now? What exactly is your purpose moving forward? What do you, what do you hope to accomplish here?
Yeah, Rory. Right now, I'm looking to help more people, right? More coaching clients, helping just I'm looking for what I call the golden five. Golden five, just people that they're serious, you know, like they really they're hungry for it. They can't stand another second being in their reality. Like they know it's time, and they just it's so much easier with guidance, Rory. You know that's something that I've really I really preach, and that's really just coaching, speaking on more stages. I want to get these stories out, you know, podcast, speaking on more podcasts, and I the ultimate goal is being a world class coach, world class speaker. That's where I'm heading. Like, you know, really creating change, really helping people all around the world, and it starts with you know these daily action steps, and that I want this influence, I want this story to be worldwide.
Nice. Nice. Now it sounds like you're on your way. Okay. Because I mean, I checked out your website. You've got coaching programs available. You've been able to monetize your work, your videos and stuff. And you've gotten clients and you're doing okay with that. So you've got customers, which is beautiful, and people are reaching out to you. And you also offer something free to folks, which I love. You know what I mean? I love to see something free. I mean, I never advocate we should give everything away free. We're all capitalists. We're all trying to make it. We all feel this way. But it is cool that you kind of lead with that, and it's understated. But why don't you tell everybody what you offer? Start with the free thing, if you don't mind, and then kind of, move into what else you offer, who it's for, how it benefits them.
Awesome. Yeah. So I created this free audiobook called The One Guide, and it's designed to help the listener express their most authentic self, reach a new layer of inner trust and ability to find the ability to guide themselves through the most challenging times. And it's tight. I named it The One Guide because not because I'm the one guide, right? Because you are the one guide, and it's important that you know that, right? Like nothing, like and it's a paradox in itself because I'm sharing what helped me guide myself in those kind of moments when it's a donut, right? Or leaving all these when I made these huge leaps in my life and what I focused on, like it helps when you listen to stuff like that. It turns on your neurons, right? It makes you reflect on your life, and it's like, wow, it makes you think. So you can look for what the right solutions, the right answers for yourself. That's why even like I created that because you're listening to me, but you're really listening to yourself in a sense when you're getting your own downloads. You're getting, it's like I often tell my clients like you're really having a conversation with yourself. I'm not even like I'm here, but I'm kind of not. Like this is you thinking, right? You're the one that's going deep into your past, and like you're learning to guide yourself just by reaching out, like you manifesting this tool to help you, right? Like to help you get X result. So that's really what it's designed to do, and it taps you back into your belief, taps you back into your what your faith, your hope, and shows you that, buddy, you can guide yourself right now, even when the midst of the doubt, if the fear, everything, it's gonna help you break right through that and see the truth and tap into that spirit, tap into your true essence, so you can lean with that and guide yourself with that.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. Love that, man. Um,
Jada.
what now did you build all this yourself? Did you have any help putting this thing together? I mean, where'd the inspiration come from to build these programs, and how'd you go about putting them together?
Hmm. So just from being a part of so many, you learn, you see the pattern recognition, and just I that course that I bought 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I learned a lot, and you see patterns, and you see ways of doing things, and then you find your way. Like what? How do I want to create this? How do I want to go about this? And I I'm very I like I'm very very simple as well when it comes to these kinds of things as you are, Rory. Like just kiss. It's like, all right, chapter one. This is what I'm going to talk about in chapter one. Chapter two. This is what I'm going to talk about in chapter two. Just like that. Like it doesn't have to be so complex, man. Like and what I always be grateful is that my girlfriend helps me with the landing page. A little
Oh,
secret. She helps me with the landing page. She's really, really good at creating that stuff. So, we work together with it. But no, it's all my own stuff. It's just me just sharing I have processes that come through just from doing this kind of work for so long. And I get amazed. Like I go through my own process and then wow, this could help somebody else. All right. I structure it. I really take my time to put it together, and then I use it with my clients, and it's crazy.
nice, nice. All right. Well, I just realized I might have made a mistake then when I was talking about the lights. It's girlfriend, not wife, because I don't want to, I don't need a mad phone call from your
Soon
significant
to be
other.
wife, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, girlfriend right now. We've been together 4 years, so.
Okay. All right. So yeah, tell her, that I apologize for, getting that wrong, but let her know also that I'm telling you after 4 years, come on, man.
Right.
I've been married, forever. It's
Man.
time, brother. All right.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And you mentioned, in our pre-interview, we were talking about, our styles and certain things you work on. And we did mention the keep it simple, method. And
Yeah.
I talked about that with another friend of mine, Brandon, on one of these podcasts too. And, you know, that's something that I think all podcasters need to keep in mind, which is why, we kind of do what we do. Let's move into a little, podcasting production creation, talk also.
Mm.
Love the story. I can see why you're successful doing it. I can see why people are being drawn to you, because you're coming from a place of authenticity on moment one, which is beautiful. Something about this project we're doing, I'm getting very authentic people who are coming on here, and I personally love that. I mean, I'm filling my cup every day, talking to every one of you folks. So it's very fulfilling for me. But we gotta do a little bit of our homework here too, and talk a little bit about podcasting and creation. So I know that you do a lot of work on Facebook, which is awesome. You do a lot of video work, that kind of thing. Um, I see you have the podcast mic, and the screen and whatnot. So you're all set with your equipment and headphones. When you first started doing all this, did you? I know you invested in a course, back in the day, so to speak. But have you invested a lot of money in equipment or anything, or have you kept that really on the down low?
I mean, it's been really, really minimal. I mean, honestly, when I started even just recording the first couple episodes, but I wish I had it here with me, but I had this little like tripod with the mic, and because I didn't, I I was so excited to record, and my girlfriend, she knows how to set all this up. So what I would do, I would just put the tripod mic behind the screen, and it would seem like I'm talking to the mic, but it was a regular mic, to record videos from. And I'm like, you know what? I want to record this now. She's still asleep. Let's just do this. And I use my phone. Like I just put on my phone, I put it on the tripod, bam, press start or press record, and that's it. Like I'm very grateful that my girlfriend, she's a singer, so she needs all this recording equipment, right? And it's like perfect. Because I've been lucky with it. But yeah, man, I'm not even a tech kind of person. Like and I do even with just videos, like I keep it so simple. Just give me the tripod. It has a good mic, record like I don't even edit. I don't edit the podcast. It's all yeah, just raw, real, and I know whatever I say is something that needs to be said in the moment, and I trust it. I'm in the flow, and yeah, I don't really invest too much in equipment, man.
That's good. No, I'm glad. I really am. I mean, that's really kind of how it ought to be. I think, especially my advice to folks is always do 10 episodes, see how you feel. Just I don't care if you're just talking on your phone, like you said, you know what I mean, or using the mic on your laptop. I mean, um, when that's done and you feel like, yeah, I'm going to keep going, do 10 more. And
Yes.
when you've hit 20 episodes, if you're like, all right, now, yes, I can keep the consistency, I can keep rolling, go buy some stuff. Don't spend a lot of money, but go buy some stuff. You're cool. With from where I started, for almost 5 years ago now, the equipment was more necessary back then with the way iPhones have come along now. I mean, you almost don't even need the startup stuff, until you're really
Exactly.
a pro and you're knocking it out. But all right, love that stuff. Love that stuff. um, when you first started talking, sharing, because it's one thing to feel the way you're feeling and to make the changes you're making. That's tough enough. But a lot of people have some issues, obstacles they have to overcome when they're talking into a mic or talking on camera, things they're having to overcome. Was that just
Mm.
natural for you, or did you have to kind of push past some barriers?
It definitely, yeah, it definitely wasn't natural. You see my first YouTube video, you'll laugh for a week, man. Like it, it wasn't good, but it through the repetitions, like you said, and it's so important that people remember them. Do the 10, do the 20, like get the reps in. You're gonna mess up. It's okay. Like you got to get that out the way. You got to learn from it, right? So yeah, definitely challenges. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't know what if I made a mistake, and what if I had to be perfect, and all this unconscious stuff. Like, but you realize like what you're gonna let that stop you? Like I'm just gonna be here crying and like yeah, all right, well I guess I'm not gonna help or I'm not gonna share anything because this stuff is there. Like I'll carry that with me if I have to for a little bit, and eventually you get that confidence as you put in the reps and it. What really gave me confidence, Rory? This happened actually like 2 years ago. I, I stopped speaking for a little bit. I stopped, doing really stuff like this, and I was taking care of a friend's house, and there was this dog. I was with the dog and taking care of their pets too, and her name was Rosie. And I'm like, you know what, Rosie, you're gonna be my audience today. and I, in the out of the blue, I did a speech. I'm like, what if I was on a pod? What if I was on a stage? What would I say? And I just started like, let me just start speaking. It was a 25-minute speech that after I was finished, but I was just talking, letting it flow, and just letting everything see what I could share. And that after that, giving a presentation to Rosie the dog, and just like pretending it was a real person. I'm like, we can do this. This is really wow. Like, where did that come from, Roy? Like, I like where did that come from? And that's also when I knew like just talk, man. Like you don't even have to have a camera there. Like I had Rosie, like just let it see what you can do. 20 minutes, 10 minutes, see what you can do, and then maybe judge or see whatever you want to say. But that helped me break through a lot, surprisingly. Something so simple like that, Rory. It's crazy.
Rosie the dog. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great.
My friend gets a kick when I tell him that. Like, yeah, I give a speech to your dog.
We all give credit in some strange ways, man. But I've never heard anybody credit Rosie the dog before for their breakthrough onto the creator scene. So
Right?
that's amazing. All right. So what do you do? What do you do to promote your show? What have you found is the best promotion vehicle? And then have you done anything that you think is just kind of a waste of time, or was a waste of time for you in terms of promotion? I know you're big on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what I do is create the podcast, make clips of it, and yeah, just put it on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. That and even with the content that I do on Facebook as well. I'll do the live and break it down into like pieces where that are very helpful, insightful, and yeah, just put them out there. I mean, I have over 5K on TikTok, so that just to build that audience, like
Wow, there you
it
go.
helps. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, buddy, just that's really it. I mean, I found that what I would say is that how to be if I'm gonna make an episode on a topic, it's either have to be something that I've lived or that I know very much about. Like I've embodied a lesson or theme because I've tried and I can talk about it. I've tried to talk on like certain topics but if it's really not me, I notice. I don't know if people out the audience notice, but I noticed that you're not. I'm not fully myself with it, and I don't like that. So I stopped talking on things that I didn't really know about or that I could talk about, but I'm not like really that passionate. And that was the biggest switch as well. Like I can, what we're talking right now, I can talk about this all day. Like it's who you are, it's what you've done.
Right on. No, I mean that's what being authentic is all about. And when you've actually experienced it, it comes across different. No matter how much you try or how much you practice, if you're talking about something that you haven't felt, that hasn't hit you in your heart somehow, people know. They just know. I mean, you're just a used car salesman at that point, and nothing against used car salesmen. I've done that, in the past, but I'm just saying you're not coming through at that point, and people aren't going to connect with you. So I'm not at all surprised to hear that you're connected on TikTok, okay? Because you've got great energy. You're a young guy, you know what I mean, and that's definitely your platform. So TikTok and Facebook are those the two best platforms for you to be on right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those are I have my two biggest followings on there, but honestly, I love Instagram, man. I'm posting stories daily. I'm doing my content there a lot too. Yeah, there's something I have a special connection with with Instagram, but yeah, Facebook and TikTok are the biggest platforms.
That's awesome. Well, I know you're in our group already on Facebook because I've seen you in there and you've
Yes.
you've interacted, which is awesome. Make sure you join us on Instagram too. We're the underscore podcaster underscore nation because Instagram has to make everything a little more difficult.
That,
you
that,
know how that works. But yeah, I hope we see you there too. So that's awesome. I always ask a corny question, and I call it my corny question. And so every episode, you're going to hear somebody answer this one. But what is the thing that you love the most about what it is you're doing? And what's the thing, and I know it's a strong word, but what's the thing that you hate the most about what it is you're doing?
I think doing doing like the extra technical stuff would be it. Like I love creating the content, but then I gotta wait for my editing software to edit it, and I'm there just kind of like sitting and just kind of waiting for the video to be processed, and even like I just want to hit record, do speak, and have everything else just kind of taken care of. And that's the route that I'm thinking about going, Rory. But like right now, I'm like, you know what? All right, I can do it. But it's like it's the patience of it, man. It's
Right.
like
Right.
really having the patience to you make the description and you do all the copy and the technical stuff. And I think that because it takes time, it takes a lot of time to get all that. Sometimes be there for 30 minutes, creating a perfect caption and or editing, having to revise the edited video and stuff like that. I would have to say
All right. That's what you hate the most.
yes.
All right. What is it you love the most about what you're doing? And I know you love a lot about it, I can tell. But what is it that just, I mean, honestly, just trips your trigger, wakes you up in the morning, gets you rolling? What do you love the most?
I have to say, seeing where someone was on day one that we started working together and day 90, because you go, and that's why we have I record the sessions for them, and they get to see, buddy. They get to see how they came in, right? Fear, doubt, frustrated, angry, all this suppressed emotion, all these suppressed emotions. And by the end, they're a completely different person. And I tell them, you're not going to be able to recognize yourself in the best way, in the best possible way. Like just seeing the change that's created. And when I get messages as well, like I got a message yesterday how one of the ladies on my email, and she was saying, powerful message. Like, thank you so much, Rogelio. Like, I loved it. Or comments like, I really needed this today. I've been going through it. Like this is creating real change. It's really helping people. Like, you never know you never know what you could say that is really just going to hit someone at the right time, at the right moment. Like the perfect message. And even with the podcast, right? Like you don't know. And man, I live for that. I live to see someone like, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm let me let me bet on myself today. Let me take a chance. You know what? Let me do something that I normally wouldn't do, and or it helps someone like get their own breakthrough like that. That lights me up. I love that stuff, man.
That's great. That is great. Um, you're a, I mean, you're pretty solidly entrenched in the coaching business at this point. You've got, following and programs. What do you say to people that, and I do the same thing. I'm a coach, so understand where this is coming from.
Nice.
But what do you say to the people who, of course, I've heard, a million times that say there's too many coaches out there, the market's saturated, so on and so forth. Um, so what do you say to the people who are
Mm.
hearing that and should be telling their story, should be getting into coaching, right? But they're hearing that. They're hearing that there's too many, everybody's doing it, everybody's got a program, everybody's got a podcast, and they're being naysayers about it all. So what do you say to somebody who really feels like they got a message to share? They want to start coaching and sharing and creating, but they're hearing all that crap.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta silence the noise, man. It, it could be true, right? But it could be not true. I mean, it whatever you focus on is it's gonna happen regardless, right? Like I found in my journey, that's a nice reason to not do something. It's a nice reason to stay in your own way and be like, oh well, yeah, this is all happening. How am I? Who am I? And the imposter syndrome and the lack of belief and the lack of self worth that you even think you're worthy of helping someone like that. It all comes into play. It's an external reason that's covering something internal. It always is, man. And it's like, don't don't compete, man. Like you got your journey. You gotta find the way. You gotta find your style. You gotta find your way. And the only way you're gonna do that is to jump in. I gave so many free sessions when I started. I gave like 30 free sessions just to get the reps in, to see, to find my style, to find um my way of coaching. And you tweak it, you structure it, and you see what's really what's really a reflection of you. How do you really want to help? And I mean that jumping in, it'll be the best way. But like, don't compete. Like again, those old school saying like you're competing with yourself, and it's really just external fears, external reasons that are covering up what's going on internally. Like, well, how do you really feel about it, man? Do you really think you can help? Right? What's the fear with that? Are you afraid to fail? Are you afraid to be seen? Are you afraid to mess up? Maybe you're afraid you can't help someone. Like it all comes back to the beliefs inside.
Nice. Very, very nice. I believe all those same things you just said, which is fantastic. I mean, I've heard a lot of that recently, which is funny because there's how many billions of people in the world right now, and I mean, it's not like you're putting up a shop in your hometown of 400 people, and that's all you have to draw from. You're on the internet. This is not new.
Yeah.
Am I right? I mean, you literally can talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. So you don't need too many people to say, "Hey, yeah, I resonate with you. I'd like to talk to you," to be making a difference with somebody. So I love what you said too about all the free sessions that you gave out. And again, I'm not telling anybody to work for free, but I mentioned to you, one of the things I hear the most when people come to me about starting a podcast or I'm coaching somebody, within 5 minutes tops, at least maybe the first three questions, it's how do I make money? How do I get ads? That's all anybody's ever thinking about. Um, you gave away, all kinds of free sessions to get going. Tell people, like, dive into it for a minute. Tell people why that's a good idea.
Well, first off, you really draw out the reason that you even started, right? The reason that why you even chose to coach. Like, that it's like you gotta have patience, man. You gotta have patience when we want to. We're so impulsive to, or we want that instant gratification with it, and um, it's like you you really put your heart in it. And I think with that, the intention behind it is so different than how can I get monetized, right? So, but people do take it to the extreme sometimes where they're doing it for years and they're not charging anything. They're not. I had a lady that was charging $30 a month for coaching, and that it's like you don't know, man. That's low self worth. Like it's you really see or people saying like I just want to help people and not charge, and underneath that is low self worth. You've been doing it for some time, some years. Like you got there has to be an exchange of value, but when you're beginning, just give. Giving is the opportunity. I love what Bob Proctor said. Man. Giving is the opportunity. Give, give, give. Let them get the results that they're looking for. And I would recommend if you're starting a podcast, get reviews. Get reviews. That's what I would. I'm like, I'm going to give you 3 free sessions. All I ask is a review. It's testimonials at the end of it. And thank goodness as well that I had a mentor. I still have the the message from him telling me, all right, bro, do this. Like find 10 people, give them free sessions, hook them up with your best stuff, get really, really help them and just ask for a testimony. That's what I did. I listened. I was teachable. I was able, I'm like, okay, let's go help. And patience, right? Having patience with it and knowing like, man, like dude, little actually little did I know, like I was really building a foundation. And you have to have a foundation. You're a coach, right? Something you can this is who you are. This is your foundation, and then you can really start to build off. Just like when you're recording content or your first couple episodes, like you got to give that to yourself. You don't you can't build it on sand.
Right on. Right on. People don't talk about that enough. People don't realize the foundation has to be built before you can build on it. And that's great. Love that. Love that. All right, man. I've kept you on a very long time. I do have one more question for you that I like to ask. You've given a ton of advice, first of all, and it's been very, very good, very helpful, resonating with me loud and clear, loving every minute of it. But here's the question. Last one, right? Um, Someone new starting out, or somebody who is already running and wants to hit the next level. So you pick who you're talking to. Best piece of advice for one of those people.
What do you say, Rory? Your listeners are on which one more, leaning towards which one more?
Honestly, it's about 50-50. That's why I'm splitting the question now. Because you used to just
Okay,
throw
okay.
it out there and go, new podcasters, whatever. But now, honestly, we're about half and half already
Okay.
of people who are kind of new, or people who have one, it's established, like 60, 70 episodes, and they're not where they want to be and they want to hit the next level.
Okay. All
So
right.
who do you talk to? This is your show, brother. All right. So who do you talk to? Pick one of those. Best piece of advice.
Let's go for the 50 that are already running, right? They already got some skin in the game.
Right on.
I would say if you're going and maybe you're stuck, maybe you're not too sure where to go from where you're at or how to get to the next level, get some guidance, man. Get some help. Like really, it, I I cannot emphasize the importance in mentorships. I wouldn't be where I'm at without help, without support. Like it, and for I don't know for men, like people they feel weak asking for help, right? They feel weak asking for support. But brother, I'm telling you, like there's stuff that you don't know somebody else does that they've already invested years and they can save you a lot of time trying to figure it out. And that's what whenever I've gotten to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm not too sure how do I get to the next phase or how do I get to the next evolution of my business or where I'm trying to go. The guy, when I get guidance, it's so clear, it's so obvious, man. And that's what I would say. Like if you're already running, like if you're making 2 million a year and you want to make 5 million a year, get someone who's made 5 million a year or more to help you, to teach you to get to that level, to have the systems in place to what to do, right? Like the how to, so to speak. And it's worth the investment, man. And that's what I would say. Like you're already running, don't be afraid, pull out that wallet, and invest in yourself and get the guidance that you need to get to that point. It has never failed for me.
Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to come up with something fantastic that everybody can hang their hat on. Man, way to go. Love this. Thank you so much for the time today. I could sit here and talk to you forever, brother. I mean, I really
Me
could, because
too, bro.
I mean, we're like minded. We can go back and forth and knock stuff out. I just love it. And your willingness to share of yourself and give is huge. And I'm sure it's coming through for everybody else. So anybody who wants to connect with Rogelio Diaz, how do they go about doing that? What's the best way to reach you, your products?
Yes, it honestly, social media would be the best. I have a link in my bio, and you can just see it. What I offer, you can get the free audiobook there. It's the first link that is when once you click on the link in my bio, it's the first link that comes up. And yeah, you really want to see, what I'm about, who I am, see the work that I do, right? And I'm gifting it to you. If you want to learn more about my coaching, you can book a discovery call, or if you're ready to jump in and do the work now, you can also book a session with me. All that is in the link in my bio on my Facebook, on my Instagram, and on my TikTok.
Nice. Nice. Folks, all that's going to be in the show notes. I'm going to make sure you have links to everything for this young man. And so that you can reach him easily. So when you're done listening to this, if you just, click on the about on the episode, you'll see everything. It'll all be there for you. Rogelio, thank you so much, man, for being here today and for showing up, contributing and giving what you do.
Truly a pleasure, Rory. Truly a pleasure.
Thank you. Folks, this has been another episode of The Podcaster Nation. Folks, I know you heard everything this guy had to say. I know you did. And I know there's a lot of you out there who feel a lot like he has in the past, where, maybe you don't know where to go. Maybe you don't know what to reach for. Maybe there is no hand out there, you think. Folks, this guy's right here. He has become the thing that he needed long ago. And that's an incredibly tough thing to do. And he's willing to help you on your journey as well. Do not hesitate to reach out. Love you for listening today. This is the podcast for podcasters, about podcasters, by podcasters. This is the place where the rising tide raises all ships. So keep on sailing. Talk to you soon.